Hello, you guys. How are you? How are you? How are you? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. For those of you that are catching me on my YouTube channel, thank you so very much for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you all for your comments. Um, and thank you for following. I really appreciate you. For those of you that are listening in on my podcast, Fundable by Design, listen, this is going to be a conversation specifically for you and everyone that would listen in. I want to talk about something that's very, very serious. Okay. This is a very serious topic and one that I think must be said. Okay. Let me start here. You, as a new nonprofit organizational leader, right? Most of you that follow me, most of you that contact and reach out to me, you have no real experience in working in the nonprofit, for a nonprofit. You've never run a nonprofit or organized a nonprofit, right? So I want to start here. The nonprofit space is new to most of you. Again, you've never worked in a nonprofit. You've never developed a nonprofit. You never run a nonprofit. You've never built a nonprofit. You never structured a nonprofit organization. And I want you to know that you don't have to know everything. And more importantly, you don't have to pretend that you do. Because if I can communicate anything to you today, it's this: you are not judged here. You're not judged. Okay. You're not judged for what you didn't know, not for what you missed, not for what you've been trying to figure out. Because the real reason that most of you don't move forward is not because you don't care. It's because you don't want to be judged for doing it wrong. Let me say that again. Most of you that are following me, you know that you are stuck, right? You know that your organization cannot move forward because of something you don't know, right? You don't know how to get donors. You don't know how to get grants. You don't know how to get board members. You don't know how to put together a fundraising plan. You don't know how to put together a strategy to structure your nonprofit organization. Okay. And I just want you to know that you are not judged. It's not because you're doing anything wrong. All right. But you got to know that you are doing it wrong. The real reason that a lot of you don't raise your hand and say, Jen, I need help. I need help with the fundraising plan. I need help with figuring out how to structure my organization. Jen, I need help with structuring my organization and really understanding how do we generate revenue for our organization. Jen, I need help with figuring out the financials. I need help with understanding how to diversify our funding streams. I need help. And for many of you, you are not moving forward within your organization, not because you don't care. It's really because you don't want to be judged for doing it wrong. So instead of asking for help, instead of getting help, instead of slowing down and fixing things, you just keep going. You carry it and you struggle quietly. So let me say this clearly. You are my hero. You're my hero. The fact that you saw a need and decided to do something about it, the fact that you showed up even when you didn't have everything figured out, the fact that you kept going even when it was hard, that matters. You have my full respect. My full respect. You have my heart, and you deserve clarity. Did you hear what I said? You have my respect. You have my heart. For those of you that have been following me for a long period of time, you know I love the nonprofit space. You know how serious I take this work. You know that I will go to the mat behind a nonprofit organization. And I hope that you know that I am your biggest cheerleader. I applaud your commitment, your bravery, your desire, your passion, your burden to want to bring solution to your community. I don't take that lightly. I don't take that lightly. But you deserve clarity. You deserve it. Here's the truth we have to talk about. You may not be doing it wrong, but you were never shown how to do it right. And there is a difference. Because what most of you have built is based on what you found online, what you heard from someone else, what you assumed, what you felt was right in the moment. And none of that taught you how to build an organization. It taught you how to start doing the work. It taught you to launch the program, but it did not teach you how to sustain it. I want to share something with you. I want to share something with you. I had a conversation with a nonprofit leader that had been in existence. They've been in existence for over 13 years. 13 years. They existed before COVID. And then after COVID, they had to close the program down for 3 years. And over the last 2 years, they've been trying to get their program and their organization up and going again. They've made real impact in their community. People know them, people follow them, people respect the work that they've done. They've even had other organizations try to take their programs and go get funding for them. Let that sink in. Others saw the value and were able to secure funding around it. But the original organization, The one that built it is still paying for the program out of their own pocket, not getting paid, still carrying the mission on their back. Now, I want you to hear this clearly. This is not because they weren't doing good work. This is not because their program wasn't valuable. This is not because they weren't committed. It's because they did not have the structure to capture the funding that the work deserved. I'm going to say that again. It's because they did not have the structure to capture the funding that the work deserved. And when partnerships came, they couldn't leverage them. Because structure is what allows opportunity to turn into funding. I'm going to say that again. Because structure is what allows opportunity to turn into funding. Listen, many of you know what I'm talking about, right? Your program is doing amazing things, and you've been doing that program for years, year after year after year. And you've got schools, you've got other organizations, you've got other groups coming to you saying, I want to partner with you. I want you to bring your program into ours. I want you to come and share your program with our group. And you're all excited because you're finally recognized, right? You think, oh my gosh, they see me, they recognize me. But then what happens? They want you to give that program to them. They want you to do that program for free. You're still having to pay for it. You're still having to pay for it, but they see the value in it. But because you don't have the structure that allows that opportunity to turn into funding, you're giving your program away. You're still paying for it out of your pocket, and others are watching you, thinking, how can I take that program? How can I duplicate that program? Because they know how to get the funding. Huh? Many of you have experienced it. You've done your program, and then somebody comes along and swoops right in, starts doing your program, and then they get the funding for it. Why? Because they had the structure to get the funding. They knew how to get the funding. And the thing is that that funding that they got, you could have got, but you didn't know how. You didn't know what to do next. And now they have the funding, and you're still stuck paying for everything out of your pocket. Let me explain what that really means. What's really happening when that occurs? When you don't have the structure, you don't have clear funding pathways, you don't have defined roles, you don't have systems for donor engagement, you don't know how to navigate or negotiate for funds. You don't have financial positions to even ask for how much your budget is for the program. You're used to giving it away. You're used to giving it away for free. You're used to doing it for free. You don't even know how to have the conversation or to have the financials to have a conversation about finances, about how much the program costs. You don't have a framework for partnerships. So even when opportunities show up, you're not positioned to maximize it. And this is where it gets deeper, because a lot of you already know something is off. You can feel it. You can see others getting funding. You can see opportunities passing by. You can see grants that you qualify for, but don't know how to get. But instead of saying, I need help, you say, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Why? Because you don't want to feel judged. You don't want to admit, I've been doing this for years and I didn't know this. I didn't know that. I didn't know what to do next. And so you stay stuck. Not because you can't fix it, but because you won't face it. Listen, I'm here because you are my hero. All right? Let me help you shift this. There is nothing wrong with you for not knowing something that you were never taught. I'm going to say that again. There is nothing wrong with you for not knowing something that you were never taught. But once you see it, you can't ignore it anymore. Because now you understand the issue is not your heart. The issue is not your mission. The issue is not even your effort. The issue is structure. What needs to happen now is no more guessing. No more piecing things together. No more hoping something works. What needs to happen is intentional building, guided structure, corrected foundation. Because here's the truth. If you don't build the organization, you will continue to carry the program. I'm going to say that again. If you don't build the organization, you will continue to carry the program. And this is exactly why the next steps matter. If you're listening to this and something in you is saying, this is me, then I want you to do something different. Not later, now. I have offered several ways to work with me. Again, because you are my hero, there is no judgment. I already know what you don't know. In my 40 years of working in the nonprofit space, of helping organizations who are just getting started, those who are desiring to scale, those who are funding organization and program out of their own pocket. There is nothing that you're going through that I've not helped organizations out of. I've worked with thousands of organizations nationally and internationally, and I have committed my career, 40 years of organizing, structuring, and helping organizations put together the systems to sustain their work. Why? Because your work matters. Your mission matters. And the truth is this, if your organization is not structured properly, you cannot continue to achieve that mission. You cannot continue to help the people that you want to help. Listen, I just want you to know, I'm not a girl that wants you to take a bunch of notes, right? I don't provide typical trainings. People who work with me are ready to build, are ready to fix what's missing, to create structure that allows your work to be funded and sustained. Now, for those of you that know what it's like, someone came along, took your program, and they went and got funding for it. Was that by chance? No. They had the structure, they had the knowledge, they had the process to get it done. You could have the very same thing. I just want you to know that now is a season that you can get your organization put together properly. Our work can start now. And that's where clarity begins. That's where the gaps are exposed. That's the only thing that's going to allow actual change and transformation in the way that your organization is structured to raise money. I want you to be encouraged. You're not behind. You were just building without a blueprint. I'm going to say that again. You're not behind. You were just trying to build something without a blueprint. Now you have the opportunity to build it the right way. And once you do, everything changes. Everything changes. Everything changes. There are several ways to work with me. For those of you that have been following me and those of you that are in the Houston area, I am going to be in Houston this coming next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for 3 days. I am putting on a mastermind for those of you that are interested in structuring your organizations. I also work with organizations one-on-one, and I offer opportunities to get the guidance, to get the knowledge, so that you are able to train your board. Can you imagine having the blueprint, having the knowledge, so that your board can be trained? That as you bring on staff, as you bring on others to help you to delegate, you know how to train them. You know what they are supposed to do. And you are now not hampered doing everything by yourself. That's the only way that's going to work, is putting your organizational structure in place, getting the funding streams, identifying the donors, getting your board leadership in place so that they can help the organization generate revenue. If you don't know what to do, they don't know what to do. And this can be fixed. I just want to say to you, no judgment. I don't judge you. I know that you're stuck. I know that you're struggling. I know that you are frustrated. I know that you are overwhelmed. I know for some of you, you're even discouraged. I know you feel lost and possibly even ashamed. You may feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this wrong. I'm listening to you, Jen, and I feel like I feel like a failure. I feel like I did everything wrong. I don't want you to feel that way. I want you to accept that you tried to build something without a blueprint, and you didn't know that the blueprint existed. That's not your fault. You didn't know. But now that you know the blueprint does exist, get the blueprint, okay? Get the blueprint so that you can do the work in the way that's going to generate the resources so that you can sustain it. You guys are my hero. I know I come on here and I talk real crazy and I talk real hard and, I get flipped. That's just my charm. But truth be told, I admire you. I admire your courage. I admire your strength. I admire your commitment to really want to make a difference in people's lives. And I want to work with those of you that say, Jen, I need the blueprint. I need to know what I don't know. I need to know with those people that come into my organization, they say my organization is amazing. They see me delivering it, but we don't have the funds to continue it. I want you to know that money is not your problem. Funding is not your problem. That once your structure is built, you will and do have upwards of 16 streams of revenue. When you're ready for that blueprint, when you're ready to put together that structure, all you got to do is raise your hand and say, Jen, I need help. Again, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. You're my hero. I love this work. I love the work of the nonprofit space. I love it. I've committed 40 years of my life to it. I have nothing but grace and appreciation and kudos to you. And I want to help those of you that are ready to be helped. You are my hero. Your community is lucky to have you and others like you who see a need and want to build and bring solution. I just want to help make sure that you know how to get the funding so that you can sustain what you've built. That's my role, is to show you the blueprint, teach you the blueprint, and watch your organization expand to do far and exceedingly and abundantly above what you thought you could do with the funds, with the support, with the people that you can hire for sustainability. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your passion. Thank you for your burden to really touch lives. I'm here just to make sure you get the funding so you can keep it going. when you're ready for the blueprint, I'm here. I am Jennifer, your nonprofit expert, here to help you not just start, but to sustain the work that you want to do. Okay? Thank you for listening. I'll see you all next time.